Hi, so I've got the current issue of Forbes, the August 2017 issue, and I am not going to stop telling you that if there's a magazine you need to spend your money on, it's this one. And I'll tell you why. It opens your mind to new possibilities and new conversations. Even if you read something and you think, whoa, that is so out there, it makes you a better conversationist. And I think some of us have bad conversation because we don't read. And if you don't like to read books, read Forbes, okay? That's really my principle. I'll tell you about a few of the things that caught my eye in the current issue of Forbes. The story of Dangote and the fact that he's very bullish on his $12 billion refinery is something you need to read. There's a little something in here on Bitcoins. Incidentally, I want to make an admission. I'm very interested in cryptocurrencies. I really, really am. And actually, I told a fib there. I'm already in there. I am trying to understand it, but if there's something I'm very clear I want to do, is to be mining. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, that's where I'm at. But read about it in the current issue of Forbes. The cover story is a guy called Joseph, and I can only say his last name, Siwa. And this is a guy who says, I built 10 companies before I built my house. And he's very clear that the fact that he made his fortune on waste, the very thing that Sonko is sorting out in Nairobi, is simple. He says no matter what happens with the economy, we would always need waste management. The clarity in his vision is to be admired. You must read his story. The other thing that caught my eye in the current issue of Forbes was the conversation on debt. So there's two articles and the focus is on debt. The Daughter of Debt, the life of a college graduate who grew up watching her mother pile up debt and feeling the pain 10, 30 years later. Okay? And also, you can't borrow your way out of debt. And this is a very important thing. Some of us seem to think that we need to borrow from Peter to pay Paul. That's just silly. But I think the focus on debt in the current issue of Forbes Africa is worth looking at. It really is. You also can't pray your way out of debt either, okay? The waste of doctors waiting on tables and answering phones is a very, very... It's one of those you read and your heart just squeezes in itself. And there are very many highly trained hands that can save lives, and they're working in call centers and in restaurants. And Forbes Africa uncovers a depressing picture in hospitals. Qualified young doctors who struggle to find work in wards that need them more often than ever. And it has left one of Africa's largest public health systems hanging by a thread. This is important. I'm sure you're a doctor and you're thinking, what can there possibly be for me in Forbes? There's a story for you. The high price of addiction. You know, you and I tend to think that drugs and alcohol is a problem for the people who are in that problem and their families. Apparently, it's a problem for all of us on the African continent. And then I caught this amazing story. A small town of the super rich. And this is a small Nigerian town that has more Naira billionaires per capita than anywhere else in the country. My sisters are listening and they're gonna be reading. So in case you can't find your copy of Forbes, you know who took your copy. Okay, and then probably, and this is the last thing I'm gonna tell you about, there's an amazing story in the current issue of Forbes of the Mercedes-Benz E-Class. It is sleek, it is swift, it is safe, but it comes at a price. And if you're wondering what the price is, we're looking at anywhere between 57,000 USD and 78,000 US dollars. However, the way the story has been written makes for great conversation. Like I say, if you don't read books, but you need knowledge and you need to be able to be a great person we can talk to at a cocktail or stuck on a plane, grab a copy of Forbes Africa. You're sorted, at least for a month. And I've got, and thank you Forbes, sent me a whole stack of them to give them away. So what I'll be doing is that I'll be giving you this. This is your first reading because this is important. This is like the starter to your brain fodder. And then after that, you're going to read this. And then after that, when you're ready, because you need to recover from this book, you're going to read this one. Okay? Don't you love me? Yes, you do. Fantastic. So subscribe and I'll tell you how you can get a whole load of these very soon.